Like this.
Oh yeah, this right here on go. This one here is lit. This right here is pressure. Yeah, this one for the archives right here. A 1 year Allah. You already know what it is. A 1 year Allah. We get ready to get it in. UPK. Let's go. Living in a world that's crazy. Crazy world. I done seen it all, you can't amaze me. It ain't enough money you can pay me. To make me sell my soul, you can't play me. You can't living in a world that's crazy. Crazy world. I done seen it all, you can't amaze me. It ain't enough money you can pay me. To make me sell my soul, you can't play me. You can't play me.
I'ma come through with the chopper. No, it ain't Burger King, but it's the Whopper. I'm the maintenance man with the street sweeper. I'ma come by your block and mop up. You lacking my style, you wanna be mean, don't try to attach it. When I come through with the ratchet, I'm the quarterback, you the receiver, you catch it. Yeah, I'm toting the big guns, the ones with the booms on them. I'm a handyman, I fix the problem. Go to your house and put the tools on them. Yeah, he gon' learn to do it the right way. It's I.S.U.P.K all day. AR-15 split your wing. The Draco give you a ball fade. It's really the game. Don't get caught up in the fame. I'm taking aim when you step on my name. I sacrifice my life for this truth. We ain't the same. I'm giving you words of wisdom. Stop the excuse, being a victim. You say you love your brother, but you tricked him. Robbing for his bag and you stick them. You get no applause, you get no reward for killing your brother, man. You say you're tired of oppression and turn around and put the gun on the other man. Life is warfare. Destroy my enemy, give him death with a pallbearer. Release the curses. Worse than the Jewish Holocaust. I don't live
in a world that's crazy. I done seen it all, you can't amaze me. It ain't enough money you can pay me. To make me sell my soul, you can't play me. You can't living in a world that's crazy. I done seen it all, you can't amaze me. It ain't enough money you can pay me. To make me sell my soul, you can't play me. You can't play me.
I could get you with a knife or a pistol. Instead, you dangling at the end of my sentence like a participle. I don't have a price, I can't be bought. I'll never sell out, I can't get caught. I got tons of money in my vault. If you don't comprehend, it ain't my fault. Driving straight down the road in my own lane, I ain't swerving, kid. I'ma say it and stand on it and do it like I always did. I got the chopper in the trunk with a hit list. I'm moving around so fast, you aiming at me, I'm making you miss. I'm on the hit, I'm on the go, I stay lit. I could be at the bottom of the barrel and still make it to the top, cause I don't quit. I heard all the lies, I wasn't surprised or even too sad. People never tell the full story, just parts of it to make you look bad. Blood on the leaves, blood at the root. Niggas hanging from trees. That strange fruit. It's wartime and I know it. We living in revelation. That's prophecy. Ain't no stopping me revealing the true color of Christ and America's hypocrisy.
In a world that's crazy. I done seen it all. You can't amaze me. It ain't enough money you can pay me. To make me sell my soul, you can't play me. You can't living in a world that's crazy. I done seen it all. You can't amaze me. It ain't enough money you can pay me. To make me sell my soul, you can't play me. You can't play me. You can't play me.
All right, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. All right. All right, for those joining us, this is the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. We started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. And since 1969, we educate so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, West Indians from North, Central, and South America, educating them on their true heritage, which is only in the 1611 King James Version of the Bible. All right. And using this Bible the correct way will solve Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian problems, right? Put us back in rulership over all the heathens and over all the ones that we uh, over all the ones that hate us, right? Over all the nations who rule over us with an iron fist. This Bible is the gateway to our salvation, right? And when it comes to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians and First Nation people, we we most definitely have to follow our Constitution, our Gettysburg Address, right? We have to follow our guideline that the Most High God of Israel has given to us in order to survive on this planet. And when we do these things, we rise, right? It's Kwam Yasha Allah. But when we don't, when we don't follow the commandments and follow what our God in the Bible says, then we fall, the water. And I'm going to go over that today, a few precepts and a couple of stories in the Bible that proves that we are not allowed to trim our ways to seek love. Never trim your ways, meaning the Most High has set us apart. Like give me Leviticus chapter 26, verse 20. Might be the other way around, right? Leviticus chapter, I think it's 26 and 20. Right? And we have to understand when we separated from these nations, these heathen nations who rule over us, for those who don't know what they are today, right? We have to let you know all the players that's in the Bible, right? So Moab is a nation called China, right? Ammonites, they're the nation of Japanese, right? We have Elam, Elamites, right? E-L-A-M, Elam. Those are better known as the East Indians, right? And we also have the Edomites, right? Edom, or the Dukes of Edom, the children of Esau, which is the biblical name for the so-called white man, right? And these nations rule over us, and they also work in accordance and in tandem and respond to each other as far as economics and commerce, right? And puts us on the bottom of the barrel. Right? Puts the Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and First Nation people who are the actual Israelites of the Bible, who are the actual children of God, the sons of God. It puts us at an extreme disadvantage, right? And whether we know it or not, see, so that's what Commanding General YAHANNA has raised up the priests and prophets in the I.S.U.P.K. since 1969 to go out on these streets and wake up the deaf, dumb, and blind, wake up our people and go and get both kingdoms, right? No more shall it be two kingdoms. It'll be one kingdom under Christ, right? Which is basically our so-called Negroes and our Hispanic brothers, and bringing everybody together under one kingdom, right? Under Christ, right? I'll be yelling at camp, so I'm saying on Friday. So, all right, so that's where we at. Let's say sever has severed us.
Sir.
Okay, go to 2026. I think I told you 2620. All right, and we have to understand that our God Israel had to separate us because we are hard-headed, we're stiff-necked. You know what I'm saying? We are a rebellious generation, rebellious children, right? And we have to be punished by, not following what our Father says. Now, a lot of people outside of this truth, right? Our own people and heathens alike, right? They're always trying to wonder how come a God will punish you, right? You're gonna love a God that punishes you? Okay, well, I'm pretty sure if you had good parents, they disciplined you as well when you broke their rules in the house. A good father would. I don't know, a good mother would, right? Or they'll take away your privileges and things like that, and limit the places that you can go and the people you can see, things like that, until you get your grades up, right? So this is what our God of Israel does. So if you can look at that analogy, then you can look at why the God of Israel is a jealous God, I'm saying your parents don't want to raise you, and then you spend all your time next door. I'm saying, and you never come home. But it's more than that, because your parents told you don't smoke no cigarettes, right? And don't be, if it's a girl, she didn't want you talking and having sex with boys, right? You're only 13 and 14, but next door they let you do that. See, so why would you go next door and break the rules of the house of how you were really raised? Well, this is the house of Israel, and inside we have commandments, we have ordinances, we have rules and regulations that we have to follow that were laid out by our God, the Holy One, the God of Israel. Right. So now, when we disobey our God, what do you think should happen? Nothing. See what I'm saying? And this is why we become a lawless society, because our people feel that if you are an Israelite and you're going through, and you're going to serve the God of Israel, well, I don't want to do that because when you do something, you get in trouble. What? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't correlate. Meanwhile, you can be a church Christian and you can sin all you want to, and you think that nothing's happening to you. So you're either going to live in a fantasy land and be delusional, live like a church Christian, and you think that nothing's happening to you when it is something happening to you. You just don't know. I'm saying you just don't know why we, 85%, of the prison system. Yet we 14, maybe 15%. I think it's 13% of the population right here in North America. Right? You wondering why we occupying the jail cells, right? You wondering why we're so influenced. See, that's a curse in itself. We're so influenced by other nations, right? So let's look at what the God of Israel did from the very beginning. Go ahead.
Kind of
Tell me where you at.
This is the book of Leviticus,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 20, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
What the Lord say?
And ye shall be holy unto me.
Mm-hmm. What does the word holy mean? Anybody know?
To be sacred and set apart.
To be what?
Sacred and set apart.
Exactly. To be set apart, to be separate. So now that's contrary to what, the popular belief of how we were even raised. Because we were raised what? Everybody's together, right? This land is your land. This land is my land, right? From California to the New York. It's a great song to sing when you're a child that has no knowledge of where you at and what's going on and who you are. That song is great. That's like singing a Christmas carol. The more Christmas carols you sing and the more eggnog you drink and the more presents that you breaking open under the tree is pissing God off. It's angering the God of Israel. You don't know, though. You're just a little child that's being taught, not knowing that somebody before you has trimmed their ways to seek love. All right, so read it again.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
Uh-oh. Mm-hmm.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
Right. The Lord has did what? What's the word I'm looking for?
And have severed you from other people.
Uh-oh. There you go. The word sever. Somebody look up the word sever. All right. Let's find out what that means. The word sever. Because sever, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now why you're looking it up. Sever don't mean, hey, you go stand over there and you guys stand over there. Stop fighting. Okay, stop. That's not what sever means. You got it? Go ahead.
This is the Google Dictionary definition of sever. Mm-hmm. To divide by cutting or slicing, especially suddenly and forcibly.
Oh, forcibly. So the children of Israel follow other nations' gods, and we follow their ways and their ideologies and their philosophies so much to where we anger the God of Israel, to where he has to forcibly and violently, that's what sever means, to forcibly and violently separate. He has to separate us from other nations. And unfortunately, when he do it, some people got to die. Well, that's the only way that Israel gonna learn. Think about it, right? If you riding around drinking with your buddies every weekend, Yeah, people tell you what I'm saying? You got your parents saying, hey, y'all need to stop burning rubber and doing donuts and having all them people around in this, around in that parking lot and racing cars and y'all drinking alcohol. Somebody gonna get hurt. I hear you, mama. I know. Mama just be tripping. My mama, she just be, she just care. That's all. Look, I'm telling y'all something gonna happen. Y'all need to stop. Is Israel gonna stop? Israel not gonna stop until what? Go ahead.
Did somebody get hurt?
Well, not get hurt. Well, what?
Somebody die.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just somebody's dead till a car flips over and looks like a pretzel, right? Till they do some donuts and knock some woman out, and she's dead. And listen, and it has to be grotesque. It can't be somebody broke their leg or the tire just ran over their foot. No, the car got to hit a pregnant woman. She got to die. The baby got to come out of the stomach. You know what I'm saying? She got to die violently. A man got to do something. Somebody got to shoot and kill somebody. It can't be a regular shooting. It's got to be point blank range. It can't be 2 or 3 people. It's got to be 20. That's what's wrong with our people, right? We steady looking for a sign when death is our sign, both spiritual death and physical death. That's our sign that we keep ignoring, right? So the Lord said he has to violently separate you or separate us, right, from other nations, man. And that means that we have to follow our God before it gets worse, right? Because just like a good parent, what? They're gonna discipline their child, and then what do? They go ahead and give them the PS5 back and everything else they had, and slowly they have to work, prove themselves, build back up the trust, and then what? Then everything's okay. But you own Shabbat, you know what I'm saying? But your parents own Shamar, though, right? They're watching you to see if anything happens again. And sometimes they can see it happening before it happens and then cut it off before it even happens, right? The worst thing you want to do is what the Most High did to Israel, which was cast them off. Cast them off and say, I'm done with you. I'm done. Because you're too hard-headed, right? You want to celebrate the Christmas. You want to celebrate the New Year, right? You want to celebrate your birthday. You know how many birthdays that I went somewhere yesterday. As soon as I walked in, the woman was like, "Where were you for the weekend?" I said, "Shoot, I was in Austin. I'll be having camp." Oh, well, okay, well, you need to tell me happy birthday because it's a belated birthday. Let me tell you how the Lord worked. I was sitting there for a second, and by 0.5 seconds, another man came. She's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she started talking to him. So I didn't have the chance to, confront her. Like, I ain't telling you no happy birthday. It's just, you can tell how the spirits work. You see what I'm saying? The same way when you're telling somebody the truth and Satan come and take it out of them. Right? They just protected me. Boy, I was like, oh, that's amazing. You gotta look at the little things, right? As soon as I walked in, hey, you gotta tell me happy birthday because it's a belated birthday. I was like, well, as soon as I got ready to say something, hey, how you doing? Hey, she forgot about what I was doing. See what I'm saying? And why you want a belated birthday anyway? Your so-called birthday is over. You know why? Because Israel, we add sin to sin, right? We just don't have a birthday. Listen, having your birthday on Tuesday, could be detrimental because that's a work week. So what we going to do? My birthday really going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to have a whole weekend for the birthday. But you was only born on one day, though. As we say. And we want to do what? Party like it's 1999. We want to party till the casket drop. Literally, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? So again, we don't celebrate birthdays. The church makes Christ have a birthday. Ain't that a trip? They're going to force Christ to be born on December 25th. We know that's a lie. But besides that, Christ, we gonna make you have a birthday, December 25th. That's what your birthday is, Christ. Christ is like, what are they doing? I wasn't even born then. I was born in the spring. But besides the fact, we don't celebrate birthdays anyway. So why are you forcing Christ if he was perfect, right? And everybody know what's going on now. This is total information age. So even church Christians know what? Birthdays are unlawful, like eating swine, like eating pork. but they still do it. I talked to a bunch of people, man, both men and women. Say, you know, Israelites don't celebrate birthday. Well, you had me up until the end. And I was getting ready to put on all black, but you had me up until the end. I got to do my birthday. So in other words, I have to disobey my father. And we haven't been taught properly, right? With that, give me Proverbs 22:6, right? Now it's ready to go. All right, give me Proverbs 22:6.
Kind of what kind? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
So you got to train a child up when they're young, right? And I ain't talking about when they 7 and 8 years old, you start training them. Yeah. Right? The same way they read little nursery rhymes and Peter Pan, you know, the woman is reading that while she's pregnant, right? She got time to put headphones on her stomach and listen to the ocean and the shells and the water and the rain while the baby can sleep. And okay, you should be putting, you know, why don't you put Black Watch on her stomach, right? Why don't you put something that Commander General YAHANNA said, and go to bed with the baby listening to that, right? When the baby come out, you never know. As soon as they pull the baby out, baby like, Yah Bashim Yah Shabarakatah. You be like, listen, not only did it salute, it can talk, you know. But that's what it needs to be. You have to train the child up because the children are looking like the way that we look. You know, we were once children too. But listen, here's the thing about the word child. Who else is called children? See if you catch that. Yakubah.
Children of Israel.
The children of Israel. Ain't that a trip? We're not teenagers of Israel. We're not adults of Israel. It's always children of Israel. They were called what? Sheep. We call sheep because why? A sheep will follow any path that anybody directs it. If a dog, right? This is what our oppressor does. He has those dogs, right? On his farms and his ranches, right? If a dog is aggressive enough, a dog can lead a whole pack of sheep. A whole herd of sheep, it'll lead them. If it's moving enough, they'll just, the dog knows the way. And all the sheep will follow a damn dog. Now, ain't that ironic? Because we're following dogs right now, right? Because Christ called what? The Syrophoenician, a Greek by nation, which would be known as a white woman today, called her a dog in the Bible. And then don't get mad at me, the woman agreed that she was a dog. You know what I'm saying? And one thing Christ showed us to do, Christ said, listen, you're going to follow me. I'm not following. Did Christ ever say that? I follow you. The Lord, our God, is in you, right? I follow you and you in me, so let me follow you. Is that what Christ said? What did Christ say? He said, what? You follow me. Did Christ look at the heathen and say, you know what? Let me tell you something, oppressor. You are the way, the truth, and the light. Did Christ say that? Right? So we're not supposed to be following any nation. We're supposed to be leaders. We are Yasha Allah, Prince of the Power, right? So we don't follow no nation, right? At no time, right? So we don't trim our ways, right? Give me Proverbs chapter 8. Proverbs chapter 8. Right? And this is what Israel has a bad problem in doing. And you wonder why we don't get any respect. You walk around, call yourself African American, you're not going to get no respect from a real African. That's the first thing they think is what? You copy me. You want to be me. You want to be me, and you want to be my God. I am your God, because you follow me. We look stupid, man. Like, not just people that's in the neighborhood. We're talking about educators, doctors, lawyers, professors, historians. We're supposed to be educated to the point to where we know our history, and we look straight at an African and say, I am you. What happens when you basically saying that? What? I follow you. That's what you're saying. Oh, well, I'm not going to be Islam. I gave it away. But I'm not going to be Israelite. I'm going to be Islam. What are you saying when you say that? I follow Islam. See what I'm saying? And meanwhile, you got, I don't know how many people of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian First Nation people. First thing they say out of their mouth, what? I don't follow nobody. I'm my own leader. I don't follow nothing, no one, nobody. Hold on just a second. Yeah, I like salami and bacon. That's the first thing you're saying. You know what I'm saying? That was really my assalamu alaikum. I said, I like salami and bacon. But yeah, we following other cultures. We following other nations. But yeah, we say we don't follow nobody. Right? But yeah, we so quick to say, you know, anything, you know, we burning sage. We setting up altars and having rocks and that we feel that vibrate, and we're looking at numerology, we're looking at the stars. And then you got people who claim now that they've read the Bible multiple times. That's what they say. I read it multiple times. Okay, then what are we supposed to not be doing? Looking at the stars. See, look, that look like a lion up there. That look like a Scorpio. You know, I'm a Scorpio. Yeah, look like a Scorpio right there. Up, time to pray to that star. That's what the Lord didn't want us doing. Because why? Heathens do that. Right? Go ahead and read what you got.
Kind. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Doeth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice?
Do not the brothers in the I.S.U.P.K come out on these streets every day to tell our people, stop trimming your way? Wisdom is crying out. You're going to get to a point to where it'll be no excuse that you haven't heard it. That's what's happening right now. Right? Commander Junior YAHANNA, just like Christ did, sent us out to be fishers of men, to go out and grab our people and bring them in. Listen, man, if you want to follow after a woman and do whatever she do, man, and sell your soul and trim your ways, because women are the leading cause, right? The number one leading cause to a man who's supposed to be a priest and prophet of the Lord, a woman is the leading cause to knock that man off feet to where he follows her now. And the woman gonna follow the world, period. Right? Keep going.
Verse 2. She standeth in the top of high places.
Now, hold up. Who is the she? Somebody that's not reading. All right, go ahead.
Wisdom.
That's right. You know how he knows that? Because it's in the text. It's in the scripture. Wisdom crieth out. And the she, contrary to popular belief, the she is not your rib. Okay? So we can just knock that off. The she is not Dr. Reverend, Eleanor Johnson at First Baptist Church. That's not, it's not her. The she is your first wife. That she is the truth, these commandments. Right? All right, keep going.
By the way and the places of the paths.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city.
Right.
At the coming in at the doors.
That's right. So now, what is that? Meaning, it's we're getting to the point, we out in these streets. We're in the way, right? Meaning, we're in the chief concourse. We're in the intersections. We're out on the corner in the streets. Now we what? Now we on TikTok. You don't stop. We on Twitter. We on Twitch. We on Facebook. We on YouTube and any other social media outlet that they want to make available for us to put this word out. We're going to do it. So now there's no excuse for you to say, I didn't hear that before. And now, this is the worst thing you can do. Oh, okay. So I'm not supposed to eat pork. You know what? I'm going like I ain't never heard that. Now you're really in trouble. Because the Lord told us don't eat pork. Don't eat shrimp, crab, lobster, tuna, scallops, crawfish, oysters. The Lord said don't eat none of that. Right? And this is what our people do. We like to analyze what the Most High God say. Ain't that a trip? The oppressor tell you something, it's a done deal. He's paying me. It's whatever. The Lord will be like, yeah, you know what? I heard about them crawfish and they bottom feeders. The Bible don't say a damn thing about it being a bottom feeder. It don't. Although that is right. Right? It don't say nothing about shrimp and how they eat, all the poop and stuff from other fish, because it is true. But this is what we got to understand. The Lord said, don't do it. Well, end of the story. Let's go home. That's how we need to be. It's like your parents. Don't go outside. I want you inside before them lights come on outside. I want you inside the house before the street lights come on. You sit there, well, Daddy, why are you telling me this? Right? You don't need no explanation all the damn time. You ever seen like a mama that's fed up with their children? And they be out in public somewhere? Sit down. Well, Mama, sit down. Don't let me tell you no more. It had to be a build up to that point, because the child is being disobedient and known to be like that. Now, if you can take that analogy, you can see why we get whooped by our God. Our God of Israel don't want us looking stupid. Don't want us out there hemmed up by other nations looking goofy. You see what I'm saying? Because why? We were severed, forcibly taken and separated away from our enemies. We're not supposed to do the things that we do. You know why? Because the children of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, First Nation people, our brothers from West Indies, North, Central, and South America, we are better than our oppressor. We are better than the Africans. We're better than the East Indians. We're better than the Japanese. We're better than our so-called enemies that are out there. And guess what? It's okay to say that because God said it in the Bible. And of course, we can prove it in multiple scriptures over and over again through the Bible. But it's hard to tell when you what? When you breaking crab legs in Louisiana and putting red sauce and sucking the juice out of it and all that stuff, right? Your oppressor fed you pork when you was in slavery, fed you pork. Pork is a known killer, man. And we eat it anyway. And we always got an excuse. Hey, my grandmama used to eat pork. She lived to 95. Oh, no, my uncle, he used to smoke all the time. He lived to 103. That's what we say. You know what I say? Negro, you ain't your grandmama, you ain't your uncle. And then what I ultimately say? God said don't do it. Period. And the trip part about it is a cigarette, our oppressor say don't do it too. Ain't that the trip? He give you the cigarette, then he put on the back, will cause death and cancer. You like, hey, I'm gonna call, yeah. Look at that. Cause death and cancer. Man, that's crazy. What's got to happen? Who can answer that easy question? What's got to happen for that person to stop smoking and eating pork? What?
Somebody got to die.
Say it again.
Somebody got to die.
Somebody got to die. I'm going to amplify what you said. A lot of people got to die. And so somebody go, you know what? It do say death and cancer on here. It really does. A woman. And I'm pregnant and say the woman shouldn't be smoking. You know what? I'm going to put this out. And I'm never going to smoke ever again. And the most important part, I'm going to teach my children to follow the ways of our God. Because it's obvious our oppressor, he leave us hanging in the balance. Yeah, smoke that. It's going to kill you. Don't smoke that. You got a choice. No, we don't have a free will. That's our problem. We think we free will. You don't have a free will, right? We were told what to do by our God. We have to follow. Give me Jeremiah 2 and 33. Because when we follow what other nations do, they learn how we are. You know that, right? They learn your weaknesses. They learn your strength too, but they learn your weaknesses. Right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 33.
Uh-huh.
Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
Uh-oh, there go the verse right there. Read it again.
Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
Now, we thought that was just the title, right, of the class, and we was making something up. Everything that we're taught under Commanding General YAHANNA and the I.S.U.P.K is biblical, word for word, verbatim, right? Why trimmeth thy way to seek love? You're not supposed to be trimming your ways, meaning knowing something is wrong and you do it anyway, just to be on the in crowd, just to be loved or appreciated by other nations. That's not how you get love. An oppressor do not love and respect a slave. A slave master has no respect for a slave, but a slave master does have respect for his enemies. See what I'm saying? You have to stand on what you believe. Stand on what you know. And if you're weak, come on in the I.S.U.P.K. We're going to show you sisters, we're going to show you brothers how to stand up and be strong like the Bible said. Let the weak be strong. And we know you've been raised on pork your whole life. We know that. We know that you think that that's the other white meat. And we know it tastes so good. It's so splendid. It's so good. You are so damn rebellious. That's what you are. That you don't want to change. I thought you loved God. I thought you loved Jesus. I thought you loved him. You go to church, you dance up and down until you figured out that Bible is more than just dancing and prancing and playing a damn tambourine. Right? That the war of Armageddon starts within you. And you have to change your ways. See, that's what you got to learn how to do. You have to change your ways to seek love to the Most High. Ain't that a trip? Because you've been taught by the oppressor. In those ways, you got to get rid of that old man, that wicked old man, that wicked old woman. Again, some people feel like, what? I ain't never been to jail. Shoot, listen, I ain't never been to jail. I ain't never had a traffic ticket. I'm a perfect citizen. God hates you because you're a pork eater. And your prayers are not being heard. And because I said that, we have to prove it. Is there any more on that?
Kind of wakan.
Keep going.
Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
I just said that right there. So when you trim your ways to seek love, you teach your oppressor, or we teach our oppressors how we are. We teach them our ways, like, okay. Okay, so they won't eat pork. But if I smother it, they'll eat it. They won't eat pork. But if I make it a platter and a shrimp dish and I fry some of it, then they'll do it. Go ahead.
What the brothers are bringing out is like extremely heavy. That's how they trick the Native Americans. So like the Native Americans, they did not eat pork. You know, it was a detestable animal, right? So the way that the settlers convinced them to eat pork is that they would mix it with venison, right?
Good
Which is the reason today why your beef sausage, your chicken sausage, your deer sausage is all in pork casing, because that's how they tricked the Native Americans to eat pork back in the day.
Listen, man, that was straight from Priest and Officer 5,000 Tazadat. Okay, a known chef right here in Houston, Texas, man. All right, give it up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's heavy. And a lot of us, Tazadat, like will go and get those packages and been eating it for years. Like, no, I mess with the beef. And if you find out it's pork casing. Now, I'm telling you what that does. If you ain't strong enough, it make you say, well, I've been eating and ain't nothing happened to me. I mean, and it's good too. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with just the casing. See what I'm saying? So he makes bad, right? He makes bad look fair seeming. It ain't that bad. I eat pork on Thursdays. I used to eat it 4 times a day. Now I just eat it once. Go ahead. Come on.
And they'll even go as far as to
That's
say,
heavy.
like I've heard this, countless times from people that's worked out on farms. Well,
Right.
the meat is too lean. You have to add another meat in there so it'll be firm enough to make sausage, which is complete bullcorn, right? And how they say the same thing about like ground turkey,
Right.
Yeah, ground turkey it's a different type of consistency. And most people mix ground turkey with ground beef, but once you cook it, it has the same consistency. You know what I'm saying? So they tell you these things so that they can beguile you, right? Or manipulate you, subtle beast of the field.
Listen. Are you done with that? I'm gonna pull up something.
Sir.
All right, give me. Listen, got it on. Give me Psalms 52. Tell me what they say. Psalm 52 and 3. I'm trying to get there with you. Well, that's heavy, man. Tazalak brought out a whole nother thing about how they lie. What does 3 say?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 52, verse 3. Thou lovest evil more than good.
Go to verse 2. Come on, let's get it.
Verse 2.
Uh-oh.
Thy tongue deviseth mischief.
You hear that? It's talking about Edomites, our enemies. Their tongue devises mischief, trouble. You see what I'm saying? How can I get them in trouble with this tongue? The tongue is the strongest thing in your body, man. Meaning it's controlled like a big ship. Y'all know how a big ship is, right? You're on a cruise ship. You know that big old ship is being controlled by what they call a rudder. Little bitty, they just barely turning it, controlling that big old ship. They ain't in the ship doing that and turning on the big. They controlling it with a small rudder. Let's go from left to right. Control that whole ship. That's how your tongue is. Your tongue can what? Cause life or death. Right? Okay, keep going.
Like a sharp razor, working deceitfully.
Looking like a sharp razor. You know, a sharp razor, it's gonna cut. It's gonna get the job done. That's how their tongue is. Right? Oh, you can eat tuna. Yeah. Well, it's got scales in it. Got a brother all on YouTube and searching geographical channels and everything. Well, it's got micro scales in it. He said micro scale. Man, just leave it alone because the Most High say don't eat it. That'll save you a lot of time. Instead of trying to prove somebody wrong, prove the priests and prophets of the Lord who have your best interests, who really love you, who are telling you don't eat that. You hold on, because I was raised on that. My grandmother had me eat that, and my auntie and my great grandmother. So you ain't finna change me. Hold on. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm gonna leave it alone because you said it. When are we gonna learn not to trim our ways to seek love? Because we definitely know how to treat each other that way to where we don't seek love. You know what I'm saying? Don't smoke cigarettes. Man, I ain't doing what you say. That's amazing. So you can do it. You can tell somebody no who's trying to help you. All right? White man say, smoke that cigarette. I'm going to try it one time. I'm going to try it. It's going to kill me, huh? It's cancer. Well, I'm going to try it one time. You'll do that. But if a brother say, man, don't smoke that. Man, hold on, man. I'm telling you what to do, man. So you can show some resistance. We should show resistance against our enemies, not against our own people who love us. That's how destroyed we become, by following after other nations that don't give a damn about us. Right? Keep going.
Verse 3. Thou lovest evil more than good.
Listen, man, we're talking about our oppressor. They love evil more than they love good. Our people are not gangster and hardcore like we think we are. We can shoot that away. Like I say, I'm a avid watcher of First 48 and ID and forensic files. I look at that all the time. Them same brothers that shooting and killing and gang life, baby. I'm about to be sitting in them interrogation rooms, man. And they don't know how to lie. They don't know how to keep a straight face. They don't know how not to, quote unquote, snitch on their partner. They can't understand the game when police officers are separating them in different rooms and threatening them with time or whatever. Our people are just soft and innocent. I'm talking about them gangbangers, you know, the ones that buy pow. They just are soft and gullible and missing their mama and their tea lady and their children. And they don't want nothing. I didn't mean to do it, man. I'm sorry, man. Because you're not as hardcore as you thought you are. You know what you really are? You're a priest and prophet of the Lord in the making, and you didn't realize that. Right? And you were fooled by rap albums. You know what I'm saying? You were fooled by Die Hard. You were fooled by Training Day. You were fooled by all the movies that come out in the westernized movie theaters and MGM studios and Universal Studios. You were fooled by that. Right? It's a facade. It's a farce. It's not real. It's a mirage. And we fall for these things doing what? Trimming our ways. The moment you follow something, the Lord said, go that way. And then you say, shoot, the Wizard of Oz say, follow the yellow brick road. Nigga, are you a dummy? Those are characters. Don't even believe stuff like that. And it's all signs and symbols against the children of Israel anyway, when you get older and you look at it. You know what I'm saying? That's why our children need to wake them up, you know what I'm saying, to let a Hebrew speak when they wake up on Monday. You know what I'm saying? Which is followed by Captain Azaniah show. You see what I'm saying? In Syracuse, New York. Like, we should build our children up throughout the week. There's so many classes, man, all during the day somewhere in America or abroad that we should be letting our children sit down in class and listen to that. We know it's hard to learn Lashawan Kodash at age 40, but not at age 4. You learn 5, 6 different languages. Like it ain't nothing. Put your child in front of that. Don't make them go through what you went through. See what I'm saying? Right? Is that it for that?
La, sir.
Keep going.
And lying rather than to speak righteousness.
See that? So they love evil more than good, and they'd rather lie than to speak righteousness. And these are the people who we put over us. Lying rather than speaking righteousness is what? You at over there in the French Quarters in Louisiana, what they gonna say? This is the best shrimp, and it's nice and meaty too, and it's got a meat on it and stuff, man. It's good. It's been sitting here marinating in this sauce right here, and then I'm gonna throw in what Tazadak said. What they gonna do? You really mess with shrimp? What you need to get a taste of this gumbo. See, we got sausage and we got beef and we throw a little chicken in there too. But then we're gonna throw it all together in one. You're like, well, I do mess with chicken. That's lawful. And that beef, they got deer too. Y'all got deer sausage too? Man, with that shrimp in there too. Well, sure, I'm gonna go ahead and do it because now they got you doing 50-50. I ate fish, but I ate shrimp. See what I'm saying? I ate some beef, but it was pork casing. So that ain't too bad. Lord know my heart, I'm trying. Amen. And then you keep playing games. Lord gonna say, angels, hey, get them out of here. What the angel gonna do? Angel gonna follow the order. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to get into the Euphrates River because I don't even know if that's solid enough. But what I do know in Revelation, I'm saying chapter 9, it's talking about the different countries who are going to be battling each other. You know what I'm saying? All the big armies are going to come together at battle. And that's what's going on now. Of course, everybody's looking for, UFC and looking for, fighting, let's go fight. It ain't going to be like that. It's going to be a buildup the entire time. We are at World War III. We're fighting right now. We shouldn't be going in any other direction other than thinking about the 54th annual Lord's Passover, man, in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's the only official authorized Passover. And that's what we should be focusing on. I'm saying, getting our monies together, getting our hotel accommodation. We should walk that straight and narrow. We shouldn't be trying to trim ways to look at nothing, to be a part of nothing right now. We should be focusing on us. And that's something that we don't do as a nation. And they got this whole China Mac thing going on right now. I'm saying on YouTube and Clubhouse. I'm saying China, I don't know. I just learned who he was. I didn't know who the hell he was. And I still don't give a damn who the hell he is. But he's some rapper that was in New York. That's an Asian who was raised, amongst us, and he think that he is us. But he also has a privilege to go with his Asian nation and support his Asian nation when it's time to support his Asian nation. Likewise, he should do that. I mean, that's what he should do. Our people need to learn how to support our own people and stop training up children in the way they should go from other nations. I'm saying, because they're not of us. So when you train a child up that's of another nation, train a child up in the way they should go, and they should be us and be, in the hip hop and music. Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna turn because they're not us. We not gonna turn, looks like. If we get raised up on pork and eating the stuff that we're not supposed to smoke and drink and do, it's impossible damn near to break us from it. It is definitely a miracle from God when our people pull away and they walk through that door right there and they come in here and say, I'm going to serve the Lord. It's even more of a miracle when they come through and then they stay. Because our people are doing what? Looking at other people to see what the majority is doing. The majority of people are lost. 5,000 people that Christ had, feeding them everything, put them down in ranks of 50, hundreds, all of that. Had 12 disciples. In the end, it ended up being how many? 11. 11. From 5,000 to 11? Bro, let me tell you something, man. The I.S.U.P.K looks for quality, not quantity. We don't look for the billions and millions of people we're not at the Barclays Center. We're not running after celebrities. Because celebrities follow ways and trim ways of the heathens. See what I'm saying? We're going to walk that straight and narrow. Is that it for that?
It says Salah.
Yeah, that means, okay. So let's go to 2 Corinthians, right? Let's learn how not to trim our ways. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. We're gonna learn how not to trim our ways. Listen, if you're listening right now, you can say, you can call us a cult. I would appreciate you calling us a cult. We all cult leaders. You know what I'm saying? We follow the ways that's in the Bible. So if we cult leaders, then our head superior cult leader is the Most High God in the Bible. So I'm gonna let you know right now. Okay, this is not Branch Davidian in Waco or Wacko. Okay, and we definitely ain't Jim Jones walking around with some damn Kool-Aid juice, telling everybody to drink it and lay down on their stomach. All right, stop being simple. What you witnessing is real priests and prophets of the Lord who are taught, who are not going to go to the right or the left. We're going to hit that straight and narrow. We're going to raise up the children of Israel not to do the things that we did. And we are going to make sure that our children's children, right, make this change from Jacob being on the bottom and Esau on top to a change in rulership. That's our whole focus. And you can't do that trimming your ways. You can't do that sleeping with white women. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that being a damn dope dealer, right? You can't do that being on a stripper pole. You can't do that eating all type of, disrespecting the dietary laws that the Lord laid down to us. You will learn what's unclean to eat, and you will learn what's clean to eat. And if you claim that you're righteous, then you'll eat the clean foods and you'll be happy with what the Lord told you to eat and stop filling up your own selfish ways, man. See, this is what we need, more fathers like that. And that's what the I.S.U.P.K is. A bunch of fathers that emulate, right, our Father in heaven, who is a strong masculine man who's not going to go from the right to the left to let a woman tell us what the hell to do, when she get ready to tell us to do it. Now, in retrospect to that, she can tell us what to do if it's righteous. Got to put that out there from the jump. A woman can tell me anything she wants to if it's righteous according to God. If it's not, then I'm not doing it. All right, period. And I'm gonna show, and I'm gonna show you that in the Bible. But let's get what I said first.
Khan. This is the book of 2 Corinthians,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
So the weapons of our warfare is not the military, right? The weapons of our warfare is not an AK-47, and everybody put the clip in it with an extra banana clip with a 50-round drum, and we're gonna do a series of school shootings and mall shootings. That's not our weapons of warfare. Nowhere in the Bible do it say a lone wolf Israelite, right, goes into, Verizon and kills, an oppressor. Well, that's salvation. We good now. No, it's not. Right? Because that's not how the Bible says it's going to go down. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I will repay. That's what the Lord say. But our job is to get rid of these strongholds that we have. The strongholds is why we follow other nations, right? The strongholds, keep going.
Khan. But mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds.
So the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty. Through what? Yourself?
Through God.
Yeah, that's the only way it's going to do. Through God. With what? Pulling down what?
To the pulling down of strongholds.
Smoking weed. What's it?
Of strongholds.
Smoking cigarettes. What?
Of strongholds.
Eating the other white meat called pork.
Of strongholds.
You worshiping holidays and Christmas and birthdays and Thanksgiving and everything else that you've learned that's pagan from your oppressor, who's making you do that in order for you to be underneath them. I bet you ain't know that. Right? Everybody out there listening and watching. Right? You celebrate them pagan holidays so you can anger the Lord your God, so you can make your daddy mad. That's what you're doing. Right? And you'll never get your PS3 back. I think it's PS5, right? Yeah. Look, yeah, you'll never get your ColecoVision back. How's that? You'll never get your Atari back. How's that? The class looking like, what the hell is that? Yeah. Right? But you'll never get your fun back. Right? You're gonna always be up under another nation. And guess what? If we don't stop as a nation, then the other nations will be feeding us what the hell they want to feed us. You think you got a choice to go in, different Walmarts or go in different grocery stores and get what you want to get. Pretty soon you get to the front and they're gonna give you what they want you to have and how much of it they want you to have. Right? We don't want that. We want to rule over them. That's the whole point with us doing the right thing. Right? Keep going.
Khan. Verse 5. Mm-hmm. Casting down imagination.
That's the first thing you got to do is cast down imaginations. Right? The scriptures say we wise in our own mind. I had a dream. He was wise in his own deceit. That was his dream. To his own deceit, because he had his own agenda. You can't have your own agenda. That's what one body means. That's what it means by coming together as one body. Right? One spirit. Right? One Lord, one faith, one baptism. We have to be taught. That's what baptism means. Not everybody, in the Atlantic Ocean, wrapped in a white sheet and they all go underwater at the same time. It'll be great. You probably break a record or something, Guinness Book of World Record, but you gonna get out and the water gonna make you hungry. You're gonna go eat some pork. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about being taught. Everybody being taught, right? Not to break the laws of our God and not to follow those who break the law of our God. Right? You're a leader, right? Show you're a leader. Go ahead.
And every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God.
Now, what exalted itself against the knowledge of God? I tell you, because I go across it every day, especially when I go to camp. Go ahead. Give him the mic.
Science.
Huh?
Science.
Yeah, science. Yeah, science. The wrong science, because science is in the Bible, and that's good. You say that. The knowledge of God, right, would mean anybody saying our God is not real, right? Or men wrote that Bible. That Bible was written by man. You know, my reply is, I'm like, yeah, and so was your math book. You went to school, huh? Yeah, I have a PhD. Every book you read was written by a man. Then I take them through the Bible and show them what? Holy men spake or spoke as they were moved by the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? And that's good for reproof. It's good for correction. And since the world began, it was men, right, teaching and giving the word. Those who had the spirit of the Lord, who follow the commandments. Right? But we want what? We want to roll solo dolo. I want to drop the Bible on the floor. Whatever page it open up on. See, there you go right there. My favorite book, Psalms. Oh, look. Psalms 23. You see how it happened like that? See? Although I walk through the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. So that's the only thing you know. And then, even with that, if you walk through the shadow of death and you fear no evil, then you would do the right thing. You would do what's righteous. You would stand as a leader, not a follower. If you're walking through the shadow of death and you fear no evil, you want to walk through the shadow of death and evil fears you. Bars. That's what you want. You see what I'm saying? That's what you want. You want to be strong enough to when evil comes, you go, oh man, I'm going the other way. Now, evil's not just floating around, la, 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 la. Evil is what? In other people. So what I'm saying is spot on. You look at other people, oh no, they got to look too righteous. Sometimes I can't even get with women because they say I fend them off like that. That's cool. Because eventually I meet the woman that's what? I like that energy right there. But if they run off, it's some evil and some unclean spirit that's in them that they can't be around me. Hey, cool, shalom, bye. That's cool. So you want to put up that guard. You want to put up that shield. Look at that, I say shield. I'm talking about the shield, the armor of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? You want to put that shield around you, that force field around you of righteousness. So somebody coming in and think, so they come close. Yeah, I can't come in. Of course, that's a scenario for, hey, you want to smoke this? Think. Oh, hey, you want to pop these pills? Think. Well, as soon as I get close, it ain't happening. They know not to even approach. Don't approach me talking about popping no pills, man. They don't approach me about smoking no damn weed, because you know I don't get down like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why everybody, that's how Christ walked. You know what I'm saying? Period. You don't find nobody in there. Hey, Christ, you want to do this? They was trying to catch him what? In a lie. Catch him up on his words. That's how righteous he was. That's how righteous we are. Bible said what? We'll do Christ's works and even greater works than he. That's what the Bible said, right? Y'all know that, right? Okay, we'll get that too. Go ahead, read that.
Kind. And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
That's how you knock down your strongholds. Every thought that's wrong, that's a disobedience. You bring it into your obedience by what? With Christ. He already laid down the groundwork. Just put the tracing paper over it and trace it. You don't need to try to do your own thing, freestyle and do something different. Christ didn't have no rocks. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got to do that because Christ ain't have it. You know what I'm saying? Christ wasn't praying to Buddha. I don't think. I mean, I know the scripture's pretty good. He didn't pray to another God other than the God of Israel. You know what I'm saying? So the groundwork is already laid down. You don't have to go outside of yourself. Just follow the Bible. You're having trouble following the Bible, guess what? Counsel in the I.S.U.P.K. with men that's done it 30 years plus, that already laid down the groundwork, that know how to do it. See what I'm saying? It's already an infrastructure and protocol laid down for us just to follow. It's light work now. Now the choice, the hardest choice is what? Are you willing to put down your disobedience you learn and come into, you have to captivate, bring into, read that part again, bring into what?
And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
That's it right there. Every thought that you got, that you think you're going to exalt it over the teachings of Christ, you got to bring that into captivity. You have to put that in the cage and trap that and lock the key, throw that away. That ain't going to work. Because everything else you tried, how's that worked out for you? Everything else we've been doing, how's that working out? Even the people who come in and left the truth, how is that working out for them? It's absolutely terrible. Because they worse off than they was when they came in, man. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Verse 6. And having a readiness to revenge all disobedience.
See what I'm saying? So you have to be ready. Because why? The scriptures say what? The demons, the unclean spirits, they coming back. So you have to be ready, on guard. With what? Your obedience has to fight your disobedience. And the only way you can do that is to stay grounded in this truth, is to meditate in these scriptures, man. In other words, come to class and come to camp. Right, and ask questions. Right? Seek counsel. Never quit. Never give up. Know that what you're doing takes work. Your fruits are your work. Right? It takes courage to do this. It takes faith to do this. Because you have to go against everybody that you ever knew. Right? Although you walk through the shadow of death and you feel no evil, you are damn lie. You feel your mama. That's why you ain't coming. You feel your daddy, if you even know him. You feel your grandmama because she ain't finna have you walking around with fringes on your pants with a war scarf and a crown on your head. Not unless it's Halloween. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, Doc.
You feel your rib. You feel your woman.
Listen, that brother said you feel your woman. That's it. And a lot of us, what? We fear our children. What are they gonna say? Right? What are they gonna do? No sweat. Give me John 14 and 12. Then I'm gonna go to Ecclesiastes 33. Got to get it in red. Because you're like, how can I do this? This is a lot of pressure. Man, I don't know if I can do all of this. Put that down. That's your stronghold. Weed is not the damn answer. Weed is just something that you learn. It's a habit that you can't break, and you weak behind it. You say what? Weed ain't no drug. Okay, Negro, I heard that you went to 5 dope houses looking for weed. You addicted. And then you call you connect in the morning by 11 o'clock. Well, you know, you're dealing with dope dealers. Right around the corner, be there in a minute. All right, man, I'm waiting on you. All right, bye. 2 hours go by. Hey, I was calling, seeing where you. Oh man, I'll just make one more shot. I'm coming to him. I'm in some traffic right now. I'm right around the corner. So I mean, okay. So what you think? Oh, about 10, 15 minutes. Okay, cool. All right, cool. 10, 15 minutes. It's going down now. Your attitude changed. Boom. Now it's like the next day. Hey, what's up, man? Man, I ain't got caught up, man. Man, you coming through it now, man. See, man, this is what I'm talking about, man. Are you okay, man? Because you ain't addicted. So why you getting an attitude with the dope? Why you calling them back over and over again? What's up with that? You an addicted? You like, hey, you coming through? Hey, man, take your time, man. It's whatever then. At least that would show signs you're not addicted. You're like, you know what? Call a friend. Call a friend. Hey, man, hey, man, you know Anthony, man? Man, me taking all day with that weed, man. Oh, you got to connect? Man, because I ain't messing with you on the money. Give me your connect, man. So you jumping connection, you trying to, but you ain't addicted though. Because it's just weed. Oh, and it's in the Bible that we can do herbs. Priest and prophet come along and say, yeah, it's talking about eating the herbs, man. No, it's smoking the herb. It's smoking the herb. Okay, show me the word smoking there. So I'm saying, you got to fixate it in your own mind. Because why? You're following. You're looking at videos, Snoop Dogg, you just they blowing, and you know the baby that's blowing, and everywhere you look, you see somebody with some weed. Like I looked on TikTok, man, and I'd be surprised. Every single time I'm like, okay, they saying some good stuff. Saying some good stuff. I'll be like, is that smoke in the back? Oh, it's got to be an incense. All of a sudden, they grab it. It is, I just scroll. I don't want to hear no smoke head, man. I go on YouTube. They smoking constantly. Now that leads me to what? A form of depression. You got to be depressed. You know why? Because weed is a downer. Weed is not an upper. Keep smoking all that weed, you're going to feel down. You're down. My brother Boosie, listen, my brother Boosie, man, he just, you can look at him. It's just so terrible. It's just, as soon as they get mad, man, I'm tired of this, man. They can't even, what's the new Soldier Boy, right? He can't even do a drop for his album. Hey, what's up, y'all? Got to do stuff for you. Can you just leave that alone? Look straight and say, hey, man, my album will be out next month. All right, I got slamming albums, got some songs on there, got some features on there. It's gonna be the best thing. All right, y'all make sure y'all hit it. Cut it off. All right, let's smoke. He can't even do that. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Man, please. What's wrong with you, man? You can't stop just for a second. If you mad at somebody, you complaining about something. I seen it. I watch it. The brother went through like 2 blunts for 20-minute rant. You know, I'm like, what is? And we don't need to follow that because they are of their father, the devil. They're not devils. They're of their father. They have their ways. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, because I'm talking about our people, but you know, I got to balance it all. Our oppressor, right? Our oppressor, they are natural born homosexuals and drug addicts. Period. I don't give a damn if it's 75-year-old woman called Ethel. All right? Her 17-year-old son is in the basement or the attic, smoking plenty of weed, popping sheets of acid, you know what I'm saying, taking meth, doing everything else, and she's mad at him, but I'll go in her bathroom, open up the goddamn medicine cabinet, and everything fall out of there. All prescription drugs fall out. I'll be like, damn. So you're a drug addict too. See what I'm saying? Because she don't need half the drugs. But they got all types of drugs to make them think. We are not them. See what I'm saying? When we follow them, we fall down to the bottom. When they, which allows them to lead, right? Which allows them to rule over us. The Bible says we rule by a childish nation. Children rule over us, right? Women rule over us. And children are our oppressors, man, because they are clowns. They allow us to be foolish. Brother's like, hey, I'm with that. If I can be a clown and a fool, then I can do it. Oh, no, over there? Now they got structure. They got order. They trying to raise men to be real men. I don't want to have no parts of that. See what I'm saying? All right, what you sitting on? Go ahead.
Khan. This is the book of John, chapter 14, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Verily, verily.
Uh-oh, verily, verily. I know that's a tag. That's like a little phrase. Who's talking right now?
Christ.
The words in red, right?
Khan.
Yeah, I know that's Christ when he say verily, verily. Truly now. That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do.
Hold on. Now, the latter part that you just said, greater works that he should do. Did you just make that up? Is that in the Bible?
Khan.
Really read that whole thing again. Hold on. I thought you put that in there yourself. Go ahead.
This is the book of John, chapter 14, verse 12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me.
The first thing you got to do is believe on Christ, the real black Christ. All right, not the church Christian Christ. Keep going.
The works that I do.
So the works that Christ does, keep going.
Shall he do also.
We're going to do the works that Christ did. Period. I know it's kind of hard because they're looking at hoodlums and thugs and robbers and thieves and dope dealers and hookers and strippers. And I know. Why? Because we learned that from the heathen. We learned that by watching them. Right? We learned that. Right? You think that's why all the rappers back in the day did what? They changed their names, right? from Pookie to Boo, right? To Nene, to Ray, all of that. We changed it to what? Now he Luciano. He's Scarface and he's Al Capone. We took on these Italian names. Because why? They the real mobsters. They the real Bonnie and Clyde. They the real Machine Gun Kelly. You know what I'm saying? They the real Teflon Don. You see? They the ones what? With the gat, with the Tommy gun. Going by in a 1951 Chevy, robbing banks. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did. Go ahead.
And greater works than these shall he do.
Go ahead, toss it out.
No, what's crazy about that is they idolize, you know, this Italian culture that has no brotherhood for one another, because when they go to federal prison, they all snitch on each other.
Woo!
You understand? Like, there's no brotherhood, there's no loyalty amongst the mafia. You know what I'm saying? They all snitch on one another for reduced sentences. But she want to be a made man.
So for some reason, they think that snitching is black culture. Snitches lay in ditches. No, that's heavy. You brought that out. That's something else that we learned from, you know. Like there's a book, I think Captain Tazaya one brought it out a while back, right? Remember he had like a book like 1,300 pages of all the American gangsters and what no Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people in that book whatsoever. It was all white men. So give him that title. They the real gangsters. We are priests, man. You know what I'm saying? Read that and then somebody give me Revelations 5 and 10. Go ahead.
And greater works than these shall he do.
So the Bible say that we do what Christ said, believe on Christ. We're gonna do great works just like him. But then it goes on to say even greater works. Because why? He go what?
Because I go unto my Father.
So he go to the Father. So that's like you telling your son. You have a son, right? You teach your son, you train your child up in the way that should go. They'll never depart from it. You say, hey, son, because you know, pretty soon I won't be here. You know what I'm saying? But if you follow this, you're gonna do even greater works than me. Listen, man, we all know Christ's works is so great that the people in church don't even believe it. Period. They don't. I say, shoot, you know, Christ walked on water. Yeah. I don't believe it though, but yeah. Our people don't believe that, man. We know Christ turned water into wine. That's one of the first miracles he did for his mother. Yeah, I know. We look at the water, talking about water. I don't really believe that. Now, I'm not saying that they don't really, I'll give them a break. I'm not saying that they don't actually believe that, but I am saying through their actions and the way they act, they don't believe it. Right? If you believe your king died for you, right? Died for the sins and the repentance of Israel only, right? That's your brother from the same bloodline lineage. That's our king who said that he coming back. Did Christ ever lie? That's what I'm saying. Christ never lied. So if he say he coming back the same way he left, he coming back. The same way he left was on a cloud, on a craft. He's coming back. Right? Go ahead and give me that. Then you give me Acts 1 and 6. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 5, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And has made us unto our God kings and priests.
No, thugs and hoodlums. Read it again.
Kings and priests.
Now strippers and whores. What?
Kings and priests.
Now we dope dealers and bank robbers.
Kings and priests.
That's what the Bible said, man. It said that the Lord our God, the Buddha God, ain't making no damn king and no priest. Okay? And the Krishna God and all that, they didn't make you king and priest. The Holy One of Israel said that we are kings and priests, but not acting and trimming our ways to other nations. Would never be that. And listen, you will always be secondhand citizen. Listen, the Lord bringing it all out, y'all. Okay, and I've heard the general say it. Now I'm going to say it, right? Because I know the official stance. But I got to give it up to Clubhouse. I do. Because Clubhouse is exposing all of these frauds, man. You know what I'm saying? YouTube was doing it for a while, but Clubhouse exposes it. Then you go to YouTube and go look at it. You know what I'm saying? And Akon, y'all know who Akon is? Yeah, he's a kind of Negro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's a straight up African, right? Who literally has a fresh mouth, full of arrogance, pride, you know, for his own nation. Watch this. And he should have it. But what he did was he differentiated and made a declaration between the children of Israel, so-called Negroes, and Africans, right? They had a little interview with another African woman. They was going back and forth and talking about somebody. He was like, yeah, well, you know, he's African. I was like, damn, he's arrogant. Well, you know, he's one of us, you know, so he's African. What do you think? Then they differentiated, asked about the Negroes. Oh, well, the Negroes, you know, they're going to be, you know, smoking and high. They're going to have their pants down and acting foolish. But Akon, I thought you was locked up and couldn't get out. See what I'm saying? Really, he's in Africa and he's never coming out. He's locked up in Africa where he's supposed to be. In his mind, that is. When we gonna learn that just because somebody got the same skin color or look appear to have the same hair color as you, you know, not hair color, but hair texture as you, then all of a sudden you think that's my people. That's why that, listen, man, that melanated stuff, yeah, melanin. Nick Cannon got caught up in that. That speaking that melanated crap, that ain't gonna get it. You're gonna have to say that you're an Israelite. If not, you're gonna come to an interview with a rabbi with 1,200 books. Boom, teach me about myself. That was destruction. But after Nick Cannon did that, he trimmed his ways, he got rewarded. See what you gotta learn. Let me tell you. Captain Khan taught me this, man. The devil requires a sacrifice too. And you sacrifice it to the Most High. Oh, the Most High requires sacrifice. What did he say? Obedience is what? Better than sacrifice. The Lord requires your obedience. That is your sacrifice. That's why we read 2 Corinthians 10:4. Because your obedience, you have to bring in captivity all of your disobedience, right? Under Christ. Every thought that exalts itself above the knowledge of God, you got to bring that in. See what I'm saying? And say, okay, lay it on the table. In other words, you got to come in here, be quiet, and get taught, retaught. Your brain has to be washed from all the filth that you learned right here in America. That's all lies, right? Okay, go ahead. You sitting on something? Okay, cool. All right, give me Ecclesiasticus. Go ahead.
You want to Acts 1 and 6?
Yeah, I did. That's what I wanted. Ecclesiasticus 33:18. Go ahead.
Khan. This is the book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
When they therefore were come together, they asked of him.
Asked of him meaning Christ, right? To set the backdrop, right? They all coming together for the Pentecost, right? Keep going.
Saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Do you hear that? The book of Acts, 5 books of the gospel. In the book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 6, they're asking Christ to what? Restore the whole world? Is that what they said?
The kingdom to Israel.
That's what they asked Christ. When are you going to restore our nation back? Because that was a whole purpose why Christ was here. To restore the 2 kingdoms back together as one kingdom. One kingdom under one king. See what I'm saying? And never to be lost in these other nations. The Lord severed us. He said, I'm going to take you from among the heathen. And you'll never learn their ways anymore. We have to be retaught, right? You can't rule and have the ways of the heathen. That ain't going to happen. Somebody need to go tell the church Christians that. Right now, they bouncing around in there right now. You're not going to rule the earth, us, not you, but we. The Israelites are not going to rule the earth until we trim our ways, not seeking love and not bringing any other things that we learn from our oppressor. You're not going to bring it into the rulership. It ain't happening, man. It's not happening. That's why the Lord says it's going to be 144,000. And y'all think I'm playing. Them 144,000 men who are going to rule the government. Let me tell you something, man. They get that crown put on their head. Every last one of them brothers is con out of one con. I'm telling you, it ain't happening. You got brothers sacrifice. I want to cuss so bad, man. It's just not priestly in class, right? But I want so bad to rule this planet. You know what I'm saying? So we can bring an end and shut the mouth of every totalitarian dictatorship that's on this planet, man. And we're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? By Hashem and Mashiach Yahweh. I bet you that. All right. Is that it? Right. So they asked Christ, when are you going to restore the kingdom of Israel? Restore means what? Give back something that was taken. Wasn't nothing taken from these other nations, man. They've been taken from us. And that's in the book of Acts, right there. When you going to restore? Keep reading just for, drop down to verse 9. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him.
See that? So while they was asking Christ, and they was talking, the two men looked up, and behold, a cloud took Christ up. A spacecraft, y'all. Keep going.
Him out of their sight. Verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel.
You see that? Two men stood by him, righteous men stood by him, right? And said, keep going.
Verse 11, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven?
Say, man, why y'all looking up in the heavens? Because they saw Christ get taken up on a spacecraft. New Testament. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. The brother had to break out his Bible and follow along. Keep going. Go ahead.
This same Jesus. This same Jesus.
Keep going.
Which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
So what does that mean? The same man that you seen taken up on these clouds, right? He should come back. Read it again in like manner. Go ahead.
Which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
So what does that mean, y'all? I mean, let's break this down. Because you got ye, thee, thou, cometh, thy. What is that saying? I tell you, for the sake of time. The same way you saw Christ leave on a spacecraft, the same way Jesus Christ gonna come back on a spacecraft. That's what he just said. The same way you, while y'all gazing up, relax, he'll be back. The same way you seen him go up like manner, okay, he gonna come back the same way. Coming back on a spacecraft. Now, you know that it ain't just Christ because the spacecraft came to come get him, so it's people on the spacecraft. Hello. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Was that an angel telling that to them?
Yeah. Well, no, it was two men. It was two men in righteous apparel, white apparel. Right. So we saying, look, you looking at the brother go up, relax. He coming back the same way. That's all. So Christ is going to come back. Because the scripture said in the New Testament, in Acts. Because why? Spacecrafts are what? Clouds, flying rolls, chariots. Anybody else got another name for them? A wheel. You see what I'm saying? All right, give me Ecclesiasticus. Chapter 33, verse 18. Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 33, verse 18. Hear me, O ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears, ye rulers of the congregation.
Yeah. So again, that's talking to what? The men of Israel, right? Listen, hearken means to listen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's saying, you men of Israel, the ones
This
that
is
are
the
in
book of
power.
Ecclesiasticus and the
Right.
Apocrypha.
It says, you men of Israel, right? The ones that are in power, listen and listen good. Keep going.
Verse 19.
The men of
Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest.
listen, I know y'all understand that, right? Give not thy men, give not thy brother, thy wife, thy son, friend, power over you while you live. This goes in tandem with what we're saying. Because if you letting your son, your wife, your brother, your friends, then what are you going to do if they have power over you? What are you going to end up doing? Following. Yeah, you're gonna follow. You gotta know what you're doing is righteous. Because everybody can't see it. Right? They might not understand Acts chapter 1, verse 6. They might not understand that. They don't know Christ coming back the same way he left. It might not absorb the way it just hit you right now, right? Keep going.
Kanawakan. And give not thy goods to another,
Uh-oh.
lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again.
So if you give your goods to another, right? The good things, right? When they say goods, what are they talking about? Well,
Family.
family, true. It could also be what? Wisdom and treasures and things that you know, right? They keep you focused. You don't give that up, right? Your strength, you don't give that up. Your dedication, you don't give that up. You know what I'm saying? The power that you have to fight and the truth, don't give the truth up. Don't get them goods up, right? Keep going.
Kanawakan. Verse 20. As long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any.
Do you hear that, man? That don't mean, yeah, my wife had a good point right there. I'm finna do what you do for 2 weeks, then I'm gonna go back. Don't do that. Because verse 18 said what? I mean, verse 19 said what? That you entreat for the same again. So if they get you to do it one time, you're gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you just drink, right? You a priest, right? All I do is drink, man. Okay, cool. Here go this cocaine. Man, I remember this, man. Golly, I'm gonna do this one time with y'all, just one time for the old thing. You're gonna do it again and again because they don't believe you after that. You're just a Christian pastor. You're just a hypocrite. They'll never believe you. And one thing about the truth, you get one time, that's it. You can't even eat Thanksgiving dinner around your family. They're gonna think you celebrate Thanksgiving. Go ahead in the back. Cut it out.
And what it was crazy about what you're saying is that one time that you go back, leaving the truth to do that, that could very well be your life. You understand? Like, I don't even know why in today's time people still doing drugs because everything is laced with fentanyl. Like everything. They even putting fentanyl in the weed. You understand? Like, if there wasn't any time to be sober, it'd be now. You know, it was crazy.
Somebody just died from weed, didn't it? Did somebody just die from weed?
You know, and it'd be crazy. Like people be like, man, dog, he hit that hole one time, bro, and he got so high he died. Man, I gotta get me some of that.
Ain't that the truth? That's the good stuff.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna call it the space ghost.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? You get so spaced out, you give up the ghost. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some of that space ghost. 2 for $5 with the red tops. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Space ghost. Hey, listen, man. Hey, if you're a dope dealer, don't name your dope that. Don't write that on there. Okay. Negro be tripping. I knew I was watching this for a reason, man. This Negro's crazy, man. Don't do that. But yeah, that's a fact. I can't remember. Somebody just died though, of just regularly smoking weed, and it was laced with fentanyl. I can't remember it. It was at camp, and it's somebody we know. It's somebody supposed to be known or something. Anyway, I'll think of it later. If you're in the chat, you can put it in the chat. Somebody just died. It's like celebrity kind of thing, close to that or whatever. Laced with fentanyl, right? Smoking weed. And I said that a while back. You know what I'm saying, on my show. So all right, so keep reading. Watch this. So we don't give it up to our fathers, our mothers, our sons, our friends, or whatever. We have to stay on the straight and narrow, man. All right? Don't let nothing take you off your goods. It's truth, man. Keep going.
Verse 21.
Uh-oh.
For better it is that thy children should seek to thee than thou shouldest stand to their courtesy.
Right. So it's better if your children follow you than for you to stand in their courtesy. How many people, I'm telling you, this is a rhetorical question. How many children bring marijuana to their parents? Because their parents don't want to come on inside. When we go outside, they'll send their child out to go get it. See what I'm saying? And give it to them, and they'll come back, and the parents do it. So they're in separate rooms because the parents say they want them smoking, but now they are smoking, and they old enough to smoke, so they're in separate rooms. And the only time they come together is when they walk into the refrigerator to get something to eat, and they back and So nobody's getting taught, nobody's getting raised up, right? But you giving up your power like that, right? You never ever do that, right? So it's better for your children to do what you say than for you to stand in their courtesy. Well, okay, I respect what you're doing now. Now kick the door down, put the weed out. You know what I'm saying? And next time I catch you, you're going to stand outside for a while because I ain't having it up in here, right? And that sandwich, let me see that sandwich you got from, I don't want to be promoting, but let me see that sandwich you got from that burger place. Let me see it. Is that bacon? It's supposed to be, hey, man, I don't know what's worse. That I walked in the house and it smelled like weed, or you got bacon on your burger. And all of that we fought to get them rights is a damn lie. We did not fight to vote. We can go in the Bible. We'll show you in the Bible. Listen, man, that's what our high holy days are for us to learn our history. And you'll never know about the 7 brothers and a mother that died not eating pork. You know what I'm saying? It was Antiochus, right? That was him? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who was trying to get them to eat the pork. And they died, including their mama. Heavy story, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't ever trim your ways on him. I'll just say it real fast. You know what? Listen, Samson. How they get Samson? Anybody know? Go ahead.
They cut his eyes out.
True, but what did he cut before his eyes?
He was lusting. Salakia.
No. Anybody know? And look. Anybody know?
His hair.
Huh? Go ahead.
His hair.
His hair. Right? And the Philistine woman said what to him? Y'all remember it? Because it's going to take too long. All right. She's like, so what's your strength? Like, what makes you you? Listen, well, the Bible, boy, said, Jeremiah 2:33 say what? Don't trim your ways to seek love because you teach the evil one your ways. That's what Samson did. Delilah, y'all know the Samson-Delilah story, right? Right? Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. And Delilah got Samson to cut his hair because she was like, how you so strong and where your strength at? And eventually he told her his strength was in his hair. So when he went to bed, she had his hair cut and cut off his locks. All right? Cut off his locks. For all those that are on Clubhouse and Old Testament Israelites, the locks were not dreadlocks. They were actual weaved-in locks, okay? Like a web, okay? Come on. I ain't never think of that. Like 7 dreadlocks, how they would even look. Stupid. Right. I forgot what it's called. Malak or something. What it called? Man. Okay, so you got it. Lashawanko Dash, brother, and I'm just gonna look it up real quick. But I do know it's Judges 16:13, right? So I do know the precept of it. It's Judges 16:13. And I'm gonna go and look it up real quick. Malak or something like that. I'm saying Malak, but it ain't. Let me see something. Judges, let's go 16:13. And we are going to look that up interlinear. Where it go? Locks. Weavis 7 lock. There you go. Hebrew H4253. And it is pronounced Ma. There you go. Maklafa. I hope I'm right. And it means braid, lot, plait. That's a supercut. You see it, right? I'm trying to see if I pronounced it right. I know you correct me if I do. Maklafa.
Strong's H4253. Machlafoth.
Oh.
Machlafoth.
Right? Maklafo. But that's their language, whatever. Correct. And it's H4253. Right, that's what I thought. Machlapa. I see it in Strong's definition right there, right? Machlapa. I knew that was right. But it's a cut because it clearly says what? It say braid, lock, or plait. I'm done. You see what I'm saying? Like that's a super cut, man. Of hair. There's no way around that. Right. Read it. Read the verse. 16 Judges 16:13. And then I'm gonna answer the brother question about he had a question on the covenant.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And Delilah said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound.
Right. Where's your strength at? Stop lying to me. Go ahead.
And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web.
With the what?
With the web.
With the web, y'all. That's what a braid is. You're either gonna go under or over, and you're creating a web and a lock. Now, what's the other thing about a lock? There's 2 things that a lock does. So we know it locks. What else does it do? That question is always puzzling times. Right? I mean, when I was asked, I was like, what else does it do? Huh? Yeah, but if it locks it, what? That's what a lock do. Now, you can't take no dreadlock out. You can. I've kind of seen it done. You gonna, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna lose a lot. But a braid, you can lock it and then you can unlock it right away. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's not really a dread is not really an unlock. That's a you're going through matted hair that's intrinsically connected together with each other. You trying to that's not an unlock. Like you're going to that door, you just you just lock the door and unlock. That's why you do a braid, right? Lock and unlock. All right, let's get it. So you had a question?
Khan. Right. Could you give me a breakdown on Jeremiah 31:31, New Covenant?
All right, let's read it.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel
Mhm.
and with the house of Judah.
Mhm. Read the verse first. Go ahead.
Continue.
Oh, that's 31?
That's 31.
And that's all you wanted to know.
Kind. Salakia,
Okay, go ahead.
33. Verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break. Although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. Verse 33.
Okay.
But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts.
Okay.
And write it in their hearts, and will be their God. And they shall be my people.
Now that's personal right there. That right there is a personal relationship. But that's between the Most High and the children of Israel. All right. So back from the top. Read again from the top.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
Now, it's separating these two kingdoms, right? Who is the house of Israel? What kingdom was that?
All of the children of Israel.
No. What? Right. That was the northern kingdom at that time. Right? It says, and the house of Judah. Who would be the house of Judah? Yeah, you asked
Judah.
the question. Huh?
The house of Judah. The southern kingdom.
It'd be the southern kingdom, right? Which is really, I won't say really, but you can look at it at like 2.5 and 9.5, because it was the southern kingdom was Judah, Benjamin, and his companions, meaning half the tribe of Levi, and the 9 tribes or 9.5, which was the Levites, went with them as well. So the law was in both kingdoms, right? Although they all ended up being corrupt, right? So now it says this covenant was what? Read verse 32.
Verse 32.
It's a new covenant now. It's not between anybody else but the children of Israel. That's a cut. It was established in the Old Testament right here. And this is reiterated in the 8th chapter, the 8th verse in Hebrews. It's almost verbatim, right? Keep going.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt.
So we know that this is not talking about any other nation but the children of Israel, because they were the ones that were in Egypt that were brought out. And then it's saying what? Not according to the covenant I made with your fathers, right? So this is not it's sort of like when Christ said, I give you a new commandment. There wasn't no new commandment, but the people he was talking to didn't know about it. You know what I'm saying? This is not no new covenant. He's just, our fathers messed up, so he's giving it to the children. Same covenant. You see what I'm saying? Right? Just different people. It's their seeds, right? Okay, keep going.
Which my covenant they break.
Because why? It go perfect with the title today. You break the covenant by doing what?
Trimming your ways to seek the love.
Trimming your ways to seek love, following other nations, gods. That's what Israel had a problem doing. Right? Keep going.
Although I was a husband unto them.
Saith the Lord, right?
Saith the Lord.
All right. So all through the Bible, you'll see this husband-wife relationship. The same way we're supposed to be the husband and never leave our wife the truth. Right? He's a father to us, but I become a husband to you. That's why when we deal with other nations, the Lord say what? You all are being whores. That's whoredom. You whoring around with different gods, with different nations, following false ideologies and doctrines of other nations, right? Just like a real husband. A husband get what? Jealous. He pop up in the club and she over there dropping like a hot with another man. The Lord, you're gonna be mad. You know what I'm saying? You might not tear the club down, but when you get home, all that stuff gonna be what? Thrown out what? Thrown out the what? So the Lord throw us out the house of Israel. Throw them out. Right? All right, keep going.
Verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, with everybody.
With the house of Israel.
The new covenant that was established in Jeremiah, right? The covenant is what? These are the promises that the Lord said that Israel would have, the 12 patriarchs, right? Now, every nation gets blessed. You got Africa, got the biggest land mass probably on planet Earth. You got the Arabs. Those Arabs, what? They receive what? 12 princes, right? And got oil, got land, got, Lebanon, good land. They got good land out there. All nations got blessed through Abraham, and what the scriptures say. But it's a big difference between the covenant and the promises. The promises is for the children of Israel, but we have to behave properly. If not, we're going to be just like our fathers, right, who broke the covenant, following other nations. Right, keep going.
After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts,
right,
and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people.
Now, this is heavy. It says, I will put my law in their inward parts. What are your inward parts? Your mind. Well, Bible just going to like give you different similar words or phrases for the same thing until you get it. Right? Put the law in our mind. Right? The law going to put it in our inward parts, so we're going to know it. It's going to be like frontlets. Who know what frontlets are? Frontlet, go ahead. Whichever want to speak. Go.
Like a curtain in front of like a cloth that's in front of something, in front of a almost like the podium skirt.
No. Somebody else got it? You gonna say something, y'all, about for frontlets? Oh, okay. That brother right there, UPK. So exactly, when we don't know something, we look it up. Always simply say we don't know and look it up, right?
Google definition of frontlets: an ornamental piece of cloth hanging over the upper part of an altar. Frontal. A decorative band or ornament worn on the forehead.
That ain't what I'm looking for. That's kind of like what you said, on the altar. Well, sake of time, I tell you, got another one?
A piece of armor or harness for an animal's forehead.
Now we talking. Now, and what this is so I'll explain it. Frontlets go right here on the side. They go on the animal's head, and the frontlets are right here. See my two hands? And they right here, so the animal can't look to the left or the right. It just has to look straight. That's what frontlets are. All right? So you keep them like frontlets. That way what? You don't look what the nations are doing. You don't cover yourself. Right? That's what Adam and Eve did. Right? They covered themselves, right, with fig leaves. Fig leaves meaning what? They covered themselves with the doctrines, philosophies, right? The gods of other nations, right? You cover yourself, right? Lord say, don't cover yourself, right? And that's what we do. We dress ourselves up, literally sometimes, looking like, Halloween or whatever. We dress ourselves up in Christmas with an elf hat and a Santa Claus suit. But more than all, it's saying dressing up your spirit. You know what I'm saying? You follow other nations and you believe other nations. Then two things. What Christ say? Go ahead. Okay, hold on a second. Then Christ said what? You can't serve two masters. You can't. Either you're gonna love the one, hate the other one. You're gonna take hold to the other one or despise it. But you can't serve God and mammon. Mammon meaning wealth or money. And the reason why is because we follow our oppressors because they think we got money. Nobody likes the oppressor. They just got money. Money leads to power. You're like, you know what? I'm going to follow them in their ways, and I'm going to do what they do because I'm trying to get that money, trying to get that bag, trying to get that purse. Meanwhile, you're trimming your ways to seek love. You good? No, he was going. You good? What you was going to say?
I was just gonna say they trying to hide something they're ashamed of doing.
Right, exactly. All right, so let's get some more. I think want some more on that. Right, their inward parts, and write it in their hearts. Meaning, well, your heart is your mind, so we don't forget these scriptures. So we don't forget our God. Right, this is part of our covenant that we take these commandments, the law of our God, right, and follow that, and don't turn to the left or right. Right, pray with supplications. You know what I'm saying. And look at our God and say, we apologize for the things that we did. And then make that physical change, that spiritual and physical change. Then the Lord will hear our prayer, right? It says, then what? And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. I'm just saying, them pronouns right there are very singular. They're very specific. It's only talking about the nation of Israel bringing us together. You see what I'm saying? And that's it. In 34, when it says, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, right? And every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. How you gonna sin against the Lord and you ain't never had sin, the commandments given to you? That's how you know it's only talking about Israel. The covenant is only for us. The promises are for us. The glory, the kingdom of heaven is for us. Rulership is for us. But we have a responsibility that we got to do. And it's saying, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. It don't mean that you're not going to be teaching your children how to, the right thing to do versus the wrong thing to do. That's not what it means. It means nobody's going to come to you and say, hey, man, I'm going to tell you something, man. I know you in that, I see y'all with your wash scarf and you're doing your thing. Let me tell you something, man. Allah is the way. Ain't nobody gonna teach you that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna teach you. Can you feel the vibration in these rocks? You know what I'm saying? And teaching you about the oppressor Christ, the seizure bourgeois. Ain't nobody gonna ever tell you that again, because you're gonna know who the Most High God is. You're gonna know His name. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be in these prayers. You understand? We're gonna be on these curses too. But we're gonna know that our Lord, right now, read this real quick and then we done. Read 35 and 36, because we're gonna do it, gotta read it out. Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 35.
No, 31. You
31.
you're just dropping down and reading verses 35 and 36.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 35.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verses 35 and 36.
So like it. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verses 35. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar.
That's heavy.
The Lord of hosts is his name.
The Lord of what? Armies, of the armies is his name. Now this is heavy. You know why this is heavy? Because they don't want Israel to have the covenant. They want our promises. They want the glory, right? They want all the rulership forever and ever. Amen. But they can't have it. So guess what they do? They run to John chapter 1, verse 10. And they say, yeah, but y'all the one that got Christ killed. Right? And in John chapter 1, because they love to run to that, y'all. So y'all gonna get ready for that. Right? They're gonna run to John chapter 1, verse 10 and say, he was in the world, right? And the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. And he came to his own, and his own received him not. But what they don't do is verse 12, what? But as many as received him, to give him power, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we have to understand, right? We got to follow the Most High God, man. We have to follow what Christ laid down. Christ did not lay down following behind other nations. Now, when they try to say it's not for us, what you just read buries anything that anybody say. It's letting everybody know that the covenant is still in effect, right? If that sun up there, and that sun is giving light during the day, and the moon follows its course and does the ordinance, right? Follows it and goes around the earth, and the stars be up at night and all of that, and the waves, you see the waves, how they roar in the sea and go bounce up and down, right? The Lord put that in effect. And what you just read, he's saying in verse 36, read.
Verse 36. If those ordinances depart.
Say it again.
If those ordinances depart.
If the sun stops shining, what?
Ordinance depart.
If the moon stopped doing its job, what?
Ordinance depart.
If the stars in the heaven and the sky, they stop shining and doing their job, what?
Ordinance depart.
If the sea and the waves and the sea stop roaring and the waves stop going, what?
Ordinance depart.
If those ordinances depart, meaning if they stop, keep going.
If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever.
So that's heavy. So if the sun stops shining, the moon stops doing its ordinances, the stars stop doing its thing, the waves stop roaring, then guess what the Lord say? If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord now, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation from before me forever. And guess what? That's not happened. This covenant is still in effect for the children of Israel only, man. Period. And what we're doing in the I.S.U.P.K. is we're teaching us and we're putting these laws on the inward parts of us and our children, to where we'll never, ever trim our ways to seek love and follow another nation. We're looking for rulership, and we're going to get it. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel. With that, turn the class over to the trooper officer, to Trooper Yabakad, the Trooper Yakabad, for the security announcements.
We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves for the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. The book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, which means 10th in the Hebrew. Masharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Purim, Sunday, March 5th through Monday, March 6th. 14th day and 15th day of 12th month. Book of Esther, Esther 9:20 through 31. If anyone wants to become a trooper in a school, start by wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. Need security now.
That's it. All right, with that, I majim, which means to stand. I'll do the prayer. Turn to the east. I'll do the prayers. The Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, then in English. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Natalanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak Lanawa, Kabawati Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawati Nawa, Wala'ah, Tabaya'a Nawa, Banasaya Wan, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'Allah, Wahatapara, La'awalanyam, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. So, turn to the front. One courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. I Madam Shabbat. I Majim. Barak. Yahaba Shem Yahshab Rakata. Yad Yamata. So, turn to the sister, men of Israel. One courtesy salute. I Majim Shabbat. I Majim. Barak. Yahweh Shemal Athan Ba Shem Yahweh Shah. Yad Yamata. Dismiss.